Fast cars, fast service. Visit lebhobbies.com.
Hey everybody, yes, it is Friday again. Very cool stuff. I'm going to work in a few minutes, that's why the shirt. In any case, we have kind of a lot to go over today. I'm going to start off with Area 71. They have a cool bunch of pictures they're showing for the Mercedes, their AMG, I guess it's the SLS. It looks really great. These are obviously just the mock-ups. And in this photo, you can see the 124 and the 132 kind of next to each other, which it's an interesting perspective, if nothing else. I mean, what can you say about this kit? This kit is obviously going to be for, a fairly experienced builder. But, some folks really like a real challenge. And I think this kit would be it. It is a beautiful kit, though, of course. We are going to get on with Le Mans miniatures. Yes, folks, we don't mention them here a lot. I should stop. Anyway, Porsche 928s. These are the streetcar versions, obviously, with middle-aged folks driving them, as of course they should be. But these bodies look really, really nicely sculpted. The fact that they're kind of the champagne color and the blue, I think these are absolutely perfect. And, I think this is kind of a perfect thing for Le Mans miniatures to do. They're a very high-end, very collector-oriented slot car company, let's say. And, these would be a great addition to any Porsche lover's collection. We're going to jump into some NSR news now. We have some arrivals. We have two different historic liveries on their 86, 89 Formula cars. These are the Marlboro cars, easy for you to say. Obviously, they're, these are the, I assume to be meant to be sold as collectibles, but obviously these cars would go like hell if you really wanted to race them. And frankly, if you get them, I think you should. Also, speaking of Formula cars, we have Reparto Corsa red cars, let's say. And one of the things they do now is they share the photos with a breakdown of all of the parts. So you can see kind of the, not an exploded version, but a photo so you can see where every part is, what each part number is. That's wonderful. Very happy to see those. So you can see the setup for wood track and for plastic track. Jump in, guys. The water's just fine. I don't know what that means. In any case, we also have some really cool BRM news. Now, these sidecar motorcycle thingies are, I believe, 1/18 scale. In any case, they're really, really awesome looking. It's awesome to see them, kind of branch out and do some other stuff other than just cars. I mean, just cars are cool. But I posted some of these pictures a while ago, and boy, they got hundreds of likes. And I was surprised, frankly, because, not that many slot car posts get all that many likes, no matter what it is. But the subject matter on these are pretty cool. Obviously, they're three-wheelers, and the interesting thing, I think, is that each of these, there are two liveries of these, and they come with different passengers, the different position passengers. So it's basically one position or the other, but they give you two of the passengers so you can switch them out if, like, your buddy has the guy that's more up in the middle of the bike and you have the one that's kind of also up in the middle of the bike, but you want to switch it to the one that's kind of leaning into the corner. You can do that too. I just think that kind of customizability with your characters there it's a lot of fun. I really think so. Speaking of a lot of fun, we have more NSR news. Sorry. We have two versions of the Golf RSR that have arrived as well. The historic cars had arrived as well. They're shipping out now to dealers. They're already in the hands of some dealers, so check those out, please. But you have these two really nice looking Gulf RSRs from NSR. We know, this mold's been around for quite a while, but it does look particularly good on this car and the livery, that is. And yeah, I mean, if you're a Porsche collector, again, these are some pretty prime cars to check out, I'd say. What do we want to go with next? Okay, we want to go with Revo Slot. They released 3 new liveries, or photos of 3 new liveries that you see here of the 333 SP. These look really great. There are a lot of Revo Slot fans. There are a fair number of people that really don't like Revo Slot, which I don't get why people have to hate on a company like that, but whatever. I think they're really, really awesome. This kind of car, it's obviously you could race these things. Seems like more of a gentleman parade lap kind of car to me. You get to see the artistry in motion going around the track, which for me is kind of the joy of it anyway. So, yeah, because I'm not a fast driver. That's the copium I use to explain it all. Sure it is. So we have, and I'm just checking here, we have some Scaleauto news. Now we have a new livery of the Callaway that you see here. Beautiful blue and light blue livery on these. It looks absolutely amazing. The mold that they did is just fantastic. These cars go really, really well. And speaking of an exquisite livery, the Wins livery on the GT3 Mercedes that you see here. I mean, this looks absolutely fantastic. There are a lot of Mercedes out there now for sale, but this one does look particularly nice, I have to say. Also, we have some first looks at liveries on the Lamborghini Super Trofeo series. Now, these are obviously going to be, I guess you'd kind of call them the Club Racing series because there are various colors of them that you see here. I think there's also a blue one, but for some reason I don't have a picture of that one. In any case, these look really cool. I'm very excited for this mold. I'm a big fan of Lamborghini slot cars, in real life too, of Lamborghini cars in any case. Yeah, absolutely beautiful stuff from them. What else do we have? Is that it, folks? No, we got another one. Fly, with this really nice looking BMW M3. I believe this is an E30, the street version of the car, just in kind of plain silver. But boy, oh boy, this looks just fan-freaking-tastic. What else can you say? It's a great looking, I really love I was, born in the 70s, so the 80s, early 90s, whatever. These cars were all over the place. That's like the body style I think of when I personally, look for a cool BMW I think of when I think of I guess a BMW probably, is that body shape. Always wanted one of these, a real one, but in any case, a beautiful, beautiful slot car coming very soon from Fly. Alrighty guys, stick around through the racing and show news, and I have a rant I think probably people will be grooving on. Come back right after this, guys. So, parts. Yeah, it couldn't be too long in between times when I do a rant about parts. Now, could it? Now, I came across these photos on a vintage Scaleauto board or group, I should say, on Facebook, and I had to use these photos because this really highlights what I just desperately wish we could be doing still. Scaleauto miniature electric motor racing spares kit. Yes, folks. Really, it's an awesome thing to see a box of spares. Now, I know if you're in the UK, you can get spares from Scaleauto. It's not possible here, unfortunately. Maybe it will be. Maybe Oliver will be able to, from Professor Motor, will be able to convince Scaleauto to send him parts. I hope that's the case. In which case, all is right with the world. But these pictures do really highlight the fact that we don't have parts. Years ago, this was a common thing. It still is also a problem, obviously, with Carrera. My point is always in these kinds of posts or these kinds of rants or whatever. Look, if you don't offer parts for especially the toy brands, well, not especially, but maybe kind of. So if you have someone buying a starter set, a toy to play with, there's no harm in the word toy, guys. You're by definition looking at somebody that doesn't have a lot of experience with slot car racing, probably, and could use replacement parts when the replacement parts break, or when the parts break on the car that they have. These pictures highlight the fact that they have pretty much everything available at that time for obviously only a few cents, but whatever. If you don't have parts for these basic starter sets, and I'm not just talking about braid, the companies are pretty good about that, and that's great. That's obviously the first thing that'll probably wear out is the braid. Tires. People always are clamoring for tires, and most people don't know about sanding, which you can, I've never seen somebody that raced the car tires down to the wheel hub that actually needed replacement tires. I mean, tires will get hard. Obviously, we know the Carrera issue with the tires kind of separating the oil from the other part of the mix of rubber. But in any case, if you don't offer these parts for a service after the sale, it becomes a disposable toy. That is not what we want. That's the point of all this. If you don't offer replacement parts, you're probably going to lose that customer for another sale or for a move up to a larger scale or digital or whatever, or staying in the hobby. Because, if you're new and you see this thing, you see this great set and you enjoy it and you enjoy it and you enjoy it and you're driving it for all this time, and then something breaks, you think, well, I can't fix this, because they probably don't know about using slotted or NSR or Scaleauto wheels and tires or whatever, braid or guide or anything. These people are new to the hobby. They need to have their hand held, and that's fine. They need to have access to parts, or they're going to throw the set away. And they're going to think, this is a stupid hobby. I can't even get parts for the thing. Why did I spend, $150, $200, $400 on a set? I mean, doesn't that make sense? It does to me. Now, obviously, the hobbyist brands do release these kinds of things because, they have to, but they do understand that, stuff breaks. it's part of racing. I mean, Maurizio from Slotted always says, well, I'm an engineer. My job is to break things. That's true. You know, it's like you have to know what the failure rate is on these things. And of course, it makes sense to have replacement parts. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. For this week's edition of Slot Car News, I'm signing out.